Hello and welcome to the new KEMA Labs Podcast. This is the first in a series of podcasts we will be releasing to provide our audience with news and insights on the testing and electrical sector. I'm your host, and today I'm very excited to introduce our first guest, Shankar Subramany, the Director of Global Business Unit High Power Laboratories of KEMA Labs. Shankar is an expert in high power testing and has been leading the High Power Laboratories of KEMA Labs since 2013. He has a remarkable experience in the switchgear industry, and he has been involved in developing and managing several high power laboratories in his long career for more than 35 years. Together with industry and utility experts, he has been deeply involved in development and international standards and guidelines in the fields of transmission and distribution product, especially related to switchgear testing and certification. In this episode, we will talk about the switchgear industry post SF6, the most widely used insulating gas in high voltage equipment. SF6 has a very high global warming potential, and it is subject to increasing regulations and restrictions around the world. We will discuss the challenges and opportunities that this poses to the switchgear industry and how KEMA Labs is supporting the development and testing of new technologies and solutions. So, without further ado, let's welcome Shankar to the show. Shankar, thank you for joining us today.
Morning, Antonio. Thank you.
I will start with our first question. So, how is the ban on SF6 shaping the switchgear industry, and what are the immediate challenges companies are facing in adapting to this change?
That's right. The ban on SF6-based switchgear is already in the horizon, just 18 months away in 2026, with the medium voltage switchgear up to 24 kV being the first segment to be affected by this F-gas regulation. The high voltage switchgear segment, 52 kV up to 145 kV, and with the short circuit currents up to 50 kV, will be impacted later, starting in 2028. And the remaining of the MV switchgear up to 52 kilovolts will have to be F-gas free from 2030 onwards, and all other high voltage switchgear above 145 kV from 2032. So you can see almost all the ranges of the switchgear, medium and high voltage, are covered in a period from 2026 until 2032. Some exceptions are permitted. Derogations are being put into place for putting into operation of switchgear using gases with a global warming potential lower than 1,000, or in some cases following a certain procurement procedure. Some exceptions are permitted. I think that the immediate challenge for most of the manufacturers of medium and high voltage switchgear is to review their product portfolio and choose the appropriate technology that they should focus on in order to comply with these new regulations. This means that their R&D budget must be quickly ramped up, and the teams staffed with adequate and well-experienced people to start working straight away on either adapting their current products that they're producing with SF6-based technologies, or totally develop new products. For some manufacturers in the medium voltage segment, the adaptations required is perhaps not too significant, but for many of them, it is a big change. We see that the demand for verification and type tests of these new technology products is likely to increase in the coming years following these developments in the industry. And for the high voltage segment, it looks like there is more time, considering the take-home at a later date, but also considering the fact that it takes a much longer time to develop such products. It is not too much time left for them too.
Thank you for this informative answer, Shankar. It seems that switchgear industry is facing a major challenge to adapt to the new regulations and find sustainable alternatives to SF6. So, talking about sustainable alternative to SF6, what are the emerging alternative to SF6 in switchgears, and how do they compare in terms of performance and environmental impact?
Looking at the alternatives that are emerging, and looking at the first deadline coming up in 2026, some manufacturers of medium voltage switchgear containing F-gas and ratings up to 24 kilovolts have already developed SF6 gas-free solution. But many of them seem to have been caught off guard and are starting now to develop the F-gas-free switchgear in this segment. Most of these new solutions that they're developing use vacuum interrupters placed in natural origin gases, either at atmospheric pressure or at higher pressure, in order to meet the stringent space requirements that may exist in the substation, especially in the urban areas. In the high voltage switchgear segment, two distinct technologies have emerged. One solution is to replace the SF6 gas with a mixture of natural gases such as O2, CO2, and a small quantity of fluoronitrile gas called C4FN. This gas mixture is patented and today used by some of the major switchgear manufacturers under different commercial names. Some other manufacturers are using variations of this gas mixture with and without the C4FN component. The scalability of this solution makes it interesting, though the global warming potential of this gas mixture is not less than 1. The technical limitations and conditions imposed on the operation of and performance of the switchgear over its lifetime with these new technologies are yet to be understood fully and have to be further studied. The second solution that is emerging is to scale up vacuum interrupter technology to higher voltages. Vacuum interrupters have been used successfully in the medium voltage segments, typically for voltages up to 40.5 kilovolts and short circuit currents up to 40 kiloamps. In the recent years, they have gone up to 72.5 kV, and some manufacturers have even developed them for 170 kilovolts ratings. However, the short circuit current interrupting capabilities are somewhat limited as compared to the traditional gas circuit breakers. These vacuum interrupters are placed also in natural origin gas mixtures for insulation purpose, but at relatively high pressure in order to keep the size of the switchgear to a reasonable limit, which in turn throws up other challenges in terms of adequate sealing and potential leakages. So these are the two different technologies that are currently emerging.
Thank you very much, Shankar. I really appreciate your insight into the industry trends and the possible future development in this field. But how is the entire industry innovating to overcome the challenges posed by the SF6 ban, and what future technologies or practices do you foresee will become standard?
The industry in general is responding fast to the new challenges imposed by these F-gas regulations and is focused on quickly developing or adapting their products to comply with the upcoming regulatory requirements. However, the solutions are multitude in nature, which by itself is a healthy sign. Though it looks like two base technologies are emerging, as I just mentioned before. A certain gas mixture used in the gas insulated switchgear, similar to the current versions of the GIS in use. And the second one being vacuum-based interruption technology. There could be more coming up in terms of newer gas mixtures with lower global warming potential. Development of single unit of vacuum interrupters for much higher voltages and short-circuit currents. Not to discount also the possibility of solid-state technology-based interrupters, hybrid, and so on. But the problem would be for the end users, on the other hand, to choose the right solution, given the variety of products that could be coming up in the market, to choose which would fit their purpose, not only from the technical capabilities point of view, but also from the operation and maintenance perspective over the lifetime of these products. The overall reliability of the products over its lifetime, as well as the impact on environment, considering the entire life cycle of the product, have to be considered in their assessment. The complexity of maintaining a fleet of new products based on varying technologies impose also a challenge in terms of the variety of spares, the different types of gases that they have to maintain, the service support, the required competence in-house, the possible retraining of the staff. All these factors have to be considered by them. For the current set of standards, the international standards, based on existing products and technologies, have also to be adapted soon, or they have to be revised to cover the potential gaps in the performance of these F-gas-free products. Adequate verifications and appropriate testing would be the base for building up a solid and reliable distribution and transmission networks. As the industry and technologies are evolving fast, the verification cycles have to become shorter, relatively shorter, in the upcoming years to ensure their reliability. I think this would be the kind of developments that we could foresee in terms of standardization of these new products.
Thank you very much, Shankar, for your valuable insight and expertise in these emerging technologies and for the entire industry of the switchgears. We appreciate your time and effort in joining us to this interview, and I'm sure our audience learned a lot and gained a better understanding of the current trends and opportunities in this domain. Please stay tuned for the next episode of our podcast, where we will explore more topics and challenges related to the transitions toward a more sustainable energy industry.
Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you.